aficionados, welcome to the show that brings you the very latest in rock album reviews from our brand new releases. And with me to tell you about today is Simon, is Chris, is Trish. Thank you very much, guys. Show's all about rate an album out of 5. Does it get into a Hall of Fame? Will it get into our album of the year? And today is a biggie. It's a big, much anticipated. You know, if you've been watching the show, we love a little bit of symphonic rock. So, will Nightwish, who apparently are the band that is the premium of symphonic metal, with their new album Yesterwindy. My first exposure to Nightwish, by the way. Everybody keeps talking about them, but I've never actually sat down because you know me, I go forward, not back, and so I've not had a chance to actually listen to the album. So this is my first exposure, shall we say, to Nightwind. Trish, have you heard of Nightwish? Have you listened to any of their albums previously, or were it like me? This was your first foray, shall we say?
I have heard of them, but this is my first listen. And from the opening track, it didn't give much away as a haunting instrumental. But then track 2 hits you with force of nature with an ocean of strange islands. This is very dramatic, as from what I can wish do. My favourite track on the album is Children of Atar and Spider Silk. Whilst musically, this is full on and fantastic. The whole album genre, I found it concept-y. Album, I could be barking up the wrong tree there, but for me that's how I was grasping it, and it really wasn't something that I was investing in and lost me along the way. But I know people who love that will think this is epic, and just deservedly so.
Simon, now I know, Simon, you're a big Nightwish fan, or have been in the past, so how did you think of this album? What did you think?
Look, I go on about how much I love the original band with Taj, and she left like 2 decades ago or something, so the band's not been the same for a very long time. But it means my review of this album was probably not going to be a surprise to anyone who knows me, but I don't like the direction the band has taken. Singing about folk songs and children and becoming this more hazy sound. And compared to the old stuff, because they're using the same name as the band, the same band name. So the vocals just lack those operatic highs or real punch. The lyrics just felt hollow. The metal doesn't pound as much anymore. It's nothing against what the band is now. It's their choice to play the music how they want to, and it's the sound they want to produce. And I'm sure there are many fans of it. But after a 17-minute album, I'm just not interested in it. I just didn't enjoy it, and I'm one of those, well, I wish Tasha, which I appreciate is, like I said, a 2 decades old argument at this point, but I can't get over it. If they called the band a different name, I probably still wouldn't enjoy it, but anyway, there we
go. I'm a bit surprised by that. Chris, can you redeem this?
I really wish I could. I'm in the same boat as Simon. So I first listened to Nightwish, and I first saw Nightwish live in, I think it was 2004, 2005. So it's unfortunately, just after Tarja left the band. But so I'm aware of at least 4 eras of Nightwish, because there have been changes. After a band's been going for 20 years, and with the sort of stuff they do, it's going to happen. But if you go back and you listen to some of the stuff, the earlier stuff, so things there is I have a Nightwish playlist that is stuff like 10th Man Down, Everdream, Over the Hills and Far Away. There is a whole series of stuff that is Nightwish, and this album, with all due respect to, and I will never get her name right, so I'm not even going to try, with the current lead singer of Nightwish, and with the current band, it is a different sound. And in the same way as Simon, and the same way. I'm looking at someone else's name who was the previous lead singer, so I apologise for that. But yeah, so it's a different sound. It's a different band at this point from what it was previously, and in the same way as Simon said, I'm not a fan of the way they have gone. Now, there are plenty of people that are. I had the opportunity to see them live last year. They are still brilliant on stage. They are a brilliant band, but they're not Nightwish as I remember them, and so the nostalgia that I was hoping for didn't happen. Also, I kind of agree with Trish. I kept waiting for this album to kick in, kept waiting for it to sort of start, which, as Simon said, considering it's an almost 70-minute album, I'm still waiting for it to sort of, okay, we've done the intro now, let's get on with the music. Still waiting. And then I realised, hang on, I've listened to this music before, and I realised that on Spotify, there's a whole set of orchestral songs, the orchestral versions of the songs that come afterwards with no lyrics whatsoever, which is a nice touch to add in. I didn't realise it was there when I added it to the playlist, and so I thought, hang on, I've gone a lot longer than I needed to for this, and stopped to move on to something else. It's still a good album, and it's still, if you're looking for the operatic thematic rock that you get from a band like Nightwish, it is still there, just not in the way it used to be. And because of the nostalgia that Simon and I have got from, I hate the term, but from the glory days of Nightwish, this it isn't, unfortunately.
Mm.
There's a reason I don't go back and taint what I'm about to listen to for that reason, so I can view it fresh. I love this show for the reason of our diversity, and the fact is that we all hear something, and we all hear something a little bit different from that perspective. I fucking hate this show when I love something so amazing as this album and you're not on board with it. It really, really, really upsets me. This album is
it's subjective.
I know that. I know it is. I'm not criticising you. I'm just telling you how I feel.
Feel differently.
This album, and I said that, preempted it. This album is nothing short of utter stupendous album. I mean, the production on this album is probably the best thing I've heard in the 444 albums we've done. The musicality, the composition in terms of what it is, the style, I get it, but the production on this album is just phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. And, they're almost like, a similar kind of, well, it's almost like Lord of the Rings meets, Pirates of the Caribbean, or meets obviously Visions of Atlantis, and it's something like somewhere in between in some of the musicals. It's not a concept album, but and it does kick in. I mean, Perfume of the Timeless is just, oh my god, what a tune! And I get it. The Mechanism song, the name I can't pronounce, it is too long, but it's still phenomenal. And Sway, when it takes you on a journey across countryside and opening up to panoramic views, and my god, this album is just sublime. It's just the production on it is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. It is operatic symphonic. Did I enjoy it as much as Visions of Atlantis? Not even close. but in terms of enjoyment, in terms of what it was in its stupendous album. I mean, if you want a bit of Lord of the Rings in there, I mean, I was in the car with a friend of ours, and basically he then downloaded the instrumentals for thematic music for his D&D campaign. Do you know what I mean? So, which was just absolutely fantastic. But my god, the production on this album is just phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal. Is it the best album that I've heard out of the 444 albums I've listened to? No. But in terms of its production and everything else, just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing, this album, in terms of that sort of side of it as well. So, what do we all think about it? Will it get into our Hall of Fame? Trish, let's start with you then. What did you give it?
3.5.
3.5. Simon.
Ooh.
Dead to me.
Generously.
You're dead. Just dead to me.
Generous score.
You're dead to me. That's it. And Chris?
3.5 as well.
3.5 as well. Will has redeemed my faith. He give it a 4. At least he give it a 4. Thank you. Thank you, Will. 5, obviously, from me. 5, okay? Goddamn 5. And just in his musical composition and his production, it deserves a 5 from the whole world. There we go.
I just, for the sake, I I agree with almost everything you said there, Nice. The downside is I have 20 years of Nightwish history that I'm aware of, and so then my enjoyment of it comes down for that. It is their 10th album, so in terms of production, they're going to be brilliant, and they are brilliant.
I'm not saying that.
And as we said, it's subjective, and you're not getting at me for what I'm saying, and I understand that as well. But it's just, it probably would have been higher if I didn't have the. I really wish I could go back and listen to this right now. Yeah, that was.
Totally agree, and that's why I said at the beginning that's why I don't look back. That's why I don't go back and listen to the back catalogues before I listen to an album I've never heard or a band I've never heard before. Perspective, but there we go. So where does that put Nightwish? Nightwish is our 8th favourite album. It's 3.6 overall, 156 out of 444. So still well in our top half, and 58th favourite album of the year so far of 142. So, I mean, it's still pretty solid. A bit of have love and hate there as well, but there we go. Thank you very much. Do you agree with me, my wonderful adoring Nightwish fans out there, or do you believe in this riffraff? Love you all. So please like and subscribe, leave a comment below, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you to my wonderful panel, to Simon, to Trish, and to Chris. And to Will, of course. Bye, everybody.
Oh.
Bye.